As a Londoner living in the US, this is the greediest country I have ever lived in. So here's a list of things I've had to pay for which make no sense and will send the European mind into absolute psychosis. Let's kick it off strong with number 1. I pay processing fees for my rent. I pay my rent and then I pay $6 to process my rent. Why am I paying you money to take my money?
And I'm going to add to this, as someone who lives in 2 different countries, I live in Argentina and I live in the US. Let me tell you, any rent price that you initially see on any website, go ahead and add between $200 and $500 of additional expenses. So you may need 1 to 3 months to move in. You may have to pay for garbage disposal and takeout. You may have to pay anywhere between $30 to $100 per month for your parking spot as well too. Just putting that in. You got water, electric, and a lot of times they don't include that within the rent price they list for you. Okay, so if it's $2,000, it really might be between $2,200 to $2,500. All right, just putting that out there, man. They gonna make sure they're getting their money one way or another.
Now the next thing is I didn't realize how expensive healthcare actually is. But one day I had a really bad toothache and I went to the emergency room. First mistake. They scanned my insurance card, put me in a queue, and when I finally get to see a doctor, he looks at my tooth and says, yeah, we can't actually help you. You need to go see a dentist tomorrow morning. I said, cool. 2 weeks go by, I get my bill. $600. Luckily I had insurance, so I paid $120. But think about this for a second. I paid $120 for a doctor to tell me he can't.
Healthcare is so horrendously expensive in the US that most people that I know, that's like a death wish. Like, they can't handle the random cost of going to the hospital, going to the clinic, and hearing that price tag, because it's almost always in the hundreds of dollars. So when I was in Argentina, I waited to have when I was in I waited to go to Argentina to do a lot of my healthcare checks and things that I needed to be done, because I knew it was going to be thousands of dollars cheaper. I had some pieces of braces that were still left over from when I had them when I was back in high school. Here it would have cost me $500. I went to Argentina. The lady literally did it for 30,000 pesos, which came out to basically $25 when you convert and do the exchange rate, right? I went back to that same lady. She did a whole cleaning on me, wiped me up a little bit, this and that. It cost me $20. $20. I went and got blood work done. They took my blood, who checks, everything, whole 9 yards, analysis. It cost me $20. Here it would have cost me easily $300 to $600 for that same blood work. I actually get the inhalers in Argentina. They're like $15. The same inhalers in the US right now is costing $400 plus. And they get them for $15 because you got these greedy companies that's controlling and selling the product, because it's all for product in capitalism versus actually trying to serve the people. It's all about their pockets.
Now this one takes me off beyond my imagination. I stayed at the Intercontinental Hotel in Chicago, stayed there for 2 nights for around $200 a night, plus I paid for valet parking. But when I got my bill, the numbers just weren't adding up. On top of all the money and taxes I paid, they still charged me a $32 resort fee. What is a resort fee? And when I'm asking the receptionist what is a resort fee, nobody can answer my question.
Half of these times these receptionists don't be doing nothing. And this is not just in the US, it be in every single country. I just went to Argentina. Lady couldn't explain anything to me properly, and they ended up giving me a 50% discount on everything. But I'm gonna tell you something also too. If you're planning a trip, you need to also plan for parking. I promise you it's gonna catch you. Miami is notorious for this right here. So what happens is you book the hotel. They don't tell you that it's going to cost you anywhere between $20 to $30 per night to park your vehicle, and then it's going to be tax on top of that and some other processing fee or something like that. So that's another fee you need to look out for when it comes to hotels, is actually parking your vehicle, because I promise you, if it's too busy of your area, they're going to give you additional costs.
I got my car towed, $350. Pro tip, do not let your car stay there overnight.
No lo hagas. No lo hagas. Don't do it. Don't do it, because boy, you gonna hurt. Your pocket's gonna hurt after that. All right, you gotta go out there, gotta go, and then you gotta find out where you supposed to. Oh man, it's a whole 9 yards. It's terrible. My auntie got caught with something like that, ended up having to pay almost $2,000 to get her car back, because once she couldn't even find it, you still gotta work. You gotta do the things that you could do in a daily activity, and then you gotta figure out where this vehicle at. It's just a mess.
Next one is tip culture, and since living here, I've learned to leave a 10% tip. But think about this for a second. Your boss is so greedy that he doesn't pay you not a livable wage, doesn't pay you a survivable wage, then guilt trips us, his customers, into covering the rest of your wage for you. The level of greed you need to have to even think of that concept is literally something only Mr. Krabs would do.
A lot of other countries, civic culture is not as big as in the U.S., especially in Latin America. A lot of places in Argentina, you don't need to live a tip, and no one's going to look at you sideways because you don't live a tip. The workers are already receiving a wage, right? The tips help out and stuff like that, but you don't necessarily feel obligated. And in fact, some places in Argentina, they won't even accept your tip. They do not accept them at all. Okay, I remember growing up in high school and thinking $15 to $20 per hour was a great wage. If you still think that in the year 2026, the noose around your neck must be tight as hell. Okay, or unless you want to live with 2 to 3 other people for the rest of your life. I know people with rent that's like they get 1 bedrooms in separated kitchen, everything, a 1 bedroom apartment. It's costing them $150. Me, I'm in the center of downtown, 6th floor, and I'm paying probably about $450 for rent. A nice area, super busy, perfect, got access to everything. And then sometimes coming back to the US, give me a culture shock, cause like for the same place, it would cost me $2,500 minimum in Tampa. And if you want to live in the center downtown of Tampa in a nice spot, 6th floor, great views, access to everything, you're paying $2,500 minimum. Most of them really start off at $3,000 because Tampa also got UT there, and UT is a pretty rich school. So yeah, you're gonna pay for that. And I've seen them go all the way up to $5,000 plus. I've seen them at $8,000. They have sky rises at $8,000. The U.S. is a very capitalistic money place, so it almost makes it as if you live to work. That's what it is. You live to work. And when I go to places like Argentina, they don't live to work. They live to pass time with their family and experiences. So yes, I mean, as someone who was born in the U.S., U.S. could be a very, very greedy place, right? And you got to go get it and have an amazing, career so that you can live the life that you want to live. Because everything is costing you, bro. Hey, it's Oriiell. I make music, make content. Hit that smash button, hit that like button. If you want to know more about my travels and other things, follow me on my IG, Oriiell or Oriiell World. That's what I'm talking about. Subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Hey, let's go get it, bro.